Here we go.
You really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Hey, motherfucker. What you like to do?
Oh, I don't know. Play chess. Screw.
Well, let's play chess.
They give off to Jonathan Taylor. Jump cutting his way. Close to the goal line. He's in there. Touchdown. I-N-D-Y. Jonathan Taylor.
Wheeler finds Quan from the logo.
Here's Halliburton into the front court. Mishandled it, but gets a shot. Hits it. Hits it.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, friends, I had a great time. I saw so many of you down there. It was incredible how many actually made that trip to South Florida. And honestly, I think I ran into every one of you, every single one of you. And believe me, it was an absolute privilege and pleasure to hang with you. And even more so, if I drank with you, then it was even more of a pleasure. As I mentioned, it was awesome. What a great time it was down there. A couple of quick shouts, a little reflection too. We'll get to actually what is going on today, or maybe, for example, what went on last night in college basketball. Other than Butler, it wasn't good. Especially if you stayed up late to watch Purdue and UCLA. That was a game. And I know that it's the first blemish in the Big Ten for the Boilermakers, but I always say this about my existence, and not always am I able to do it, but control the controllables. I don't get bent out of shape of stuff that's out of my reach, out of my grasp, out of my control, or at least I don't try to. Sometimes I fail at that. But last night, even in the position up 6 with what, $150 or so remaining, the Boilers were in position to put that away, and between a couple of made threes, could not get it done. Couldn't find an answer for Dent. Mick Cronin had to go whine about stuff afterwards. I got news for you. I don't know what else is going to happen unless everybody meets in the middle somewhere in the Mountain State. Yeah, the scheduling really does stink for those West Coast teams. What are you going to do? I guess go back to the Pac-10. Anyway, we'll get to the Boilermaker stuff from last night. IU's basketball versus Dusty May and Michigan. Now, normally last night would fire up. You got to be kidding me. This is awful. But everybody that's an IU fan still, and should be, living through the great life of being a football national champion, which is incredible. Dusty May's team is good. I didn't think Dusty May's team played very well last night. I sent him a text, and I don't think your team played very well. You need to coach better. Now, I didn't say that, but you need to coach better. They have some dudes there. There's no doubt about that. And that's kind of the problem with IU. IU does not have a dude, or consistently having dudes, especially athletic dudes. They don't have that at all. So Michigan over IU. Butler with a win. Congratulations to the Dogs. I'm telling you what, BT Dude knows this on the east side since we have called him out to 2-0. Thad did a nice interview last night after the game, too. I thought when he was talking to Jamal Mashburn and Seth Davis and Tim Doyle, I thought that was good stuff that Thad offered up after that win last night over DePaul. We'll get to that a little bit later on. But still on the mind, again, it was fantastic seeing all of you. I've said this all along, and if you remember going back to Monday when we're on the beach, in front of the Diplomat and doing the pregame show with BullseyeEventGroup.com and our friends at Big Red Liquors powering us all the way, I said you have to soak up each and every moment. And this wasn't so much from me. It's 56-year-old, kind of curmudgeonly guy that still lives vicariously through, being a 15-year-old. That's just kind of me right now. That's who I am. I don't think I'm a bad dude for doing it, but that's kind of who I am right now. But for those that attended IU, and for those that attended IU, and you have that in your heart, I just grew up around it. I went to Indiana State. But I grew up around it, and certainly was a fan of it, grew up watching it all the time, grew up in and around Bloomington. I can tell you basically everything about Bloomington, Indiana, because that's just where I was all the time. It's where we always went. Never in my wildest dreams did I think football-wise they would ever be on that particular doorstep, or for that matter, be able to cash it in. But I maintained that you live in the moment because a future moment is not guaranteed. And you could say that about life in general. But a future moment is not guaranteed. And what struck me about Hard Rock Stadium, even before IU took home the national title, before Sharp picked off Beck, who underthrew an open receiver, by the way, on Monday night, even before that happened, I thought the same thing. You got to kind of live by every moment. And what makes it more satisfying, and this is what Pacer fans missed out on in losing that seventh and decisive game in the NBA Finals, what really magnifies, and it makes those just over-the-top, anxious moments so feel good. Think about that right now. We like going back as Pacer fans and watching all those Halliburton makes and those moments leading up to Game 7, but you still have that incredibly empty feeling because you lose Game 7 and then ultimately lose the NBA Finals. But now as an IU fan, you can go back through that game. You can go back to the Penn State game or the Iowa game and relive those moments that were signature where things could have gone absolutely haywire. Or this team could have been reminiscent of all of those decades long. These 65% of those that spent 4 years in the IU football program that won 16 games or less in those 4 years. I don't know if I dreamt that stat or not. I believe that is an accurate stat. But even more so than that, for the students, for the fans, for all of those that have put the time and the effort in to be a part of this when this team was awful. From when they had a player run out onto the field and Indiana was spelled wrong on the front of the jersey. What was that, 4 years ago? Yeah, it's not like that was a long time ago. That was stinking 4 years ago. The Akron game, the 4 overtime game. I mean, this is within recent memory. And for all those that suggest you're making the most out of this because it's a localized story, my ass on that. We're making the most out of this because this is an unprecedented story. This is not, like, if you've done your research over the past 5 years on Google, then maybe it will not be as impactful. But if you live through this and you actually know what has transpired over decades of futility, and the few and far between moments that IU football fans were allowed to celebrate. A touchdown catch from Ernie Jones, a touchdown catch from Thomas Lewis, Dave Snell touchdown pass, Van Wader's sack, Holiday Bowl, 1979? Hell, I can't even remember. I think Dwayne Gunn scored a touchdown there. You know what I mean? It's been few and far between. They showed inside Hard Rock, and this was what was most impactful to me. They showed during one of the timeouts in Hard Rock, they showed former IU players in the NFL. And then they showed former Hurricanes players in the NFL. You go, oh, my God. They were up against so much on Monday night. And so much of what they'd already accomplished, whether it was Oregon, when Oregon had their sights set on beating a team that beat them in the regular season, that really cost them a lot, or Alabama, yet another blue blood storied program, just like Miami. But it just struck me when it took them the better part of 15 seconds to run down, those of legend of lore of IU football. And, I mean, hell, I don't even think they got to all the Miami players. I don't even remember. I don't know if they showed Edgerrin James. I don't know if they showed Reggie Wayne, and maybe because Reggie Wayne and Edgerrin James didn't want to be shown up there. And maybe I missed it. But that was what was so striking about this, and really furthermore appealing, too. If I were college football, with all that is going on right now, and especially the older generation not embracing it, I think everybody around here now certainly does embrace it, but I think you have to be happy, over the moon about what IU accomplished. It's okay to have those Blue Bloods and the Alabamas and the Georgias, the Miamis, the Michigans, the Ohio States. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's also nothing wrong with a little bit of new flavor. And you got that. And you know what you got? You got a story that is can't miss, uplifting, rejuvenating. How often do you have that? Normally by now, with a lot of these situations, TMZ or somebody that squeals or rats out somebody else to TMZ because they're going to get paid $1 or $2, there's already going to be some like written negative story. With IU, you've had none of that. They always stand in front of the camera, in front of the microphone. They say the right thing. They do the right thing. The Heisman Trophy winner completely exemplified exactly why he won the award in the first place. Why he was selected to be the award winner. Well, he didn't have a touchdown pass. You know, I see those that were downplaying, well, I can't believe this is the Heisman Trophy winner. How is he going to handle the next level? Frankly, we'll worry about the next level when the next level gets here. But here's what I know. The guy wins games because you react as the quarterback and the leader of that team in that moment. And then when you do a lot of that on that quarterback draw, which was the most incredible run, you could have given that dude another Heisman for that run, and Fernando Mendoza. But when that happens, it's not the embracement of Mendoza when he's talking about it after the game. It's, well, this is what my guys did around me. God, that is perfect for this time. Perfect, especially if you're sick and tired of hearing about the bravado and the I approach of normal circumstances with guys like this. I don't care if you're an IU fan or not. This championship and this group was incredibly refreshing. And I know that I'm just kind of caught up in the euphoria of the moment because I'm in and around here. But if you're on the outside looking in, you got to look at this and you go, well, you know what? That'd be great if that were my team. You know, I would love to have dudes like that as a part of my squad. And this is not that against all odds. I forget, who was it yesterday? Was it Andrew Brandt? And he didn't come back at me at something, but this is a great story, but. And then you knew, okay, what was the but? Well, IU's got all this money and resources and Big Ten shared revenue. Listen, other teams have that opportunity. But what you did is you basically Google researched the last 8 months of this team. That's not enough. What you have to do is do the research and go back decades. Go back to 1967 and then come up with what you might believe to be a common theme of this, and it is losing. And it is the highest, or maybe in this case, the lowest level of losing up until this season that college football has ever seen. I think he went on yesterday to detail this is not James Madison or Tulane. No, in fact, it's probably worse. It is worse, which makes it in this case even better. And even more incredible, and even a bigger story, and more worthwhile. That was IU football this season. And then people automatically want to move on to next year. What do you think they're going to look like next year? I mean, you soak up this right now. Again, live in the moment. They're going to have that celebration coming up from 1 until 1:30 coming up on Saturday. And then who knows what else. But you got to soak up this moment. And it was awesome to run into everybody out there that you could tell, whether it was before the game, on the weekend, at the Diplomat, or in and around Fort Lauderdale or Hollywood, where we were, at something called, hell, I don't know. I was on Saturday night someplace called the Carousel Club, James. I have no idea. I can tell you this, me and Latin music, you would not recognize this. from just looking at me right here or knowing where I'm from or knowing my background. But the host of this show digs themselves a little bit of Latin music.
Really?
Yes, I don't mind it. I thought it was awesome. And I asked somebody there at this, whatever the hell it was called, the Carousel Club. I said, I kind of want to learn this step. I want to learn these steps. Because I do think, and I don't, maybe I'm wrong, I think I have a little bit of rhythm.
Was Johnny out there shaking his hips on the dance floor?
I was not. I was just observing because I had no idea what was happening. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I did enjoy watching it. And I do think I have enough rhythm, I think, right now to be able to do something like that. So, yeah, I love South Florida. But everywhere we went, you saw people that are IU fans, and believe me, they were absolutely everywhere, up and down, from basically Miami and South Beach all the way up through Fort Lauderdale. Everywhere you went, there was an IU fan, and most of which I ran into didn't have tickets. They were down there, and they were hoping to run in to some good fortune and some IU tickets and to be able to get out to that game. And I know a lot, like, for example, Jeff Boyd and his daughter Sam, who came out and hung out with me both on Sunday night and then again on Monday afternoon during the show. They were down from Brownsburg. They were just kind of hanging out and hoping they ran into something. But soaking up every moment and then going into the stadium, and it was an incredible mixture of excitement, but you were anxious. And I don't want to say doubtful because I don't think anybody was doubtful. I'll call it being anxious. Not even nervous. It was like anxious. James, you know that 2 of Mike Wells' students came up to where I was, and they didn't know who I was at all, but stuck a microphone in my face and said, what do you think about the IU thing? We're from IU. We're IU media students, and we want to know what you thought about the game. I was sitting in the stands, and she put I felt bad for them. There were 2 girls, and they put the microphone in my face, and I said, I'll tell you this, you're not learning jack squat from Mike Wells. He doesn't know his ass from nothing. and they were, like, mortified when I said that because clearly – they were his students.
Oh, I would love to see this
They
footage.
were mortified. Somewhere that's on tape.
I would love to find this.
He got his ass from nothing.
You have to see if Mike can find that for you.
I can't believe this clown's teaching you anything.
You have to see if Mike can find that.
But then I said, no, we're really good friends. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. But there was a mixture of just incredible excitement and then being anxious. And that was cool, because it was second by second. And as I mentioned to everybody inside that stadium that I ran into or afterwards, this is a one of one. Yeah, this is something that no matter what takes place, it will never, ever happen again. You know how rare one of one things are? Especially that magnitude. They may go back to back, and maybe you feel differently. And I hate to phrase it in this fashion, but I will. The first time is normally the best. What you witnessed, if you were down there or if you were up here at a bar at the Ale Emporium or, at Coach's Tavern, Tommy S. was down there, or at Tiebreakers, or one of the great places where we go throughout central Indiana, you witnessed one of one. If you were in that stadium, that was absolutely one of one. There would never, ever be anything like that again, which makes me very happy that I was a part of it, no matter the circumstances. And a shout out to Kyle Kinnett of BullseyeEventGroup.com, because my man can host himself a party. Let me tell you, Mike from Maine that made sure everybody was satisfied. I ran into nearly everybody on that Bullseye trip, and even though I was on a different flight, I was a mess down there too, by the way, too. Most of the time I was a mess. I don't think my TV, something happened with my TV. I think I accidentally unplugged it, and I never could get it to work again. So I never turned it on but one time down there. James, there was a Publix within a block. Cottage cheese in the mini fridge.
See, what's unfortunate is you don't eat sandwiches anymore, and
don't.
Publix has
I
some
know.
fantastic subs.
Well, Blake called and says, man, you got to get a sandwich. I said, well, I can't be eating any bread, brother. Come on now.
You were in Miami. You could have spared the calories for
I'm
once.
probably eating like the equivalent of 15 loaves of bread with all the beer I drank, so that was a problem, I think. I say I can't have any bread, but I drank so much beer. Now, it was a great time, and I will always have that particular reflection of looking around and just kind of noticing just how happy, whether it was J-Law next to me, who has been going to games and had season tickets for decades, that was crying tears of joy, to the former IU basketball manager, Mike, that was right next to me, that was so incredibly happy, to just everybody I saw in the concourse. It was an incredibly anxious and emotional and euphoric group, and it's such a rarity you ever have those combinations for a sporting event. And I can't imagine a championship event like that ever had more juice, was more electric than that. Pretty incredible. All right, 239-1070 is that number. That was my reflection on being there on Monday night at Hard Rock, and really from what was an outstanding weekend. A shout-out to Kyle Cadet and BullseyeEventGroup.com for yet another time. Great time it was. Big Red Liquors for having us down there as well. Rally House coming up on Friday at Clearwater Crossing. I'll have further explanation about why you should join us coming up on Friday. That is new to the list of places we're going to visit. That is coming up on Friday, and we've got a loaded show for you as well. I mentioned the college basketball from last night. Pacers on the road in Boston coming up later on tonight. Traded text with Chad Buchanan over the weekend as well regarding the Pacer team. We shall talk about that and more reflection. I'm sure more transfer portal stories, but living in the moment, which hopefully you have been doing and been doing now for a while, because sometimes those moments are unforgettable. Stream the app, HD Radio, AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live, 317-239-1070. That is the text line, and I promise I'm going to go ahead and log in today. I said I was going to yesterday. I didn't. I said I was going to on Monday. I couldn't. I am logged in today, 317-239-1070. That is the text line. Calls at 239-1070. Back on a Wednesday. Thank you all for joining us. It's 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Hey, Johnny, with a great idea for you. Starting out 2026, I know you're saying, well, wait a minute. We're like deeply into 2026 in the month of January right now. Nah. Well, it's never too late to start, but now's a great time. If you've maybe made a New Year's resolution to lose the weight, Premier Weight Loss. That's Thomas and my friends at Premier Weight Loss, 2 Indy area locations. Get started today. If you want to make a healthy choice and a difference in your existence right now, if you simply want to feel better, if you want to lose the weight, again, whatever the reason, nobody's here to question. What we want to do is we want to help you. We want to get you down that weight loss path. And I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that it absolutely works. And if you also do the work alongside those injections, weekly, if you do that, the work alongside, you're going to see incredible results. Get started today. That's PWLindy.com. Don't forget to ask about the electronic machine where they work and tone you up to. That is fantastic. But let's go ahead and concentrate on your weight loss program right now. Where you're going down that path, you have great folks like Samantha and Lauren and the gang there. Every step of the way, they're with you to make sure you reach your goals. That's Premier Weight Loss. Tell them I sent you. Get started today. PWLindy.com. That's PWLindy.com. District Tap, you got 2 locations. I'm going to be up there on Friday, right near the Clearwater Crossing location as I'm at Rally House. Hey, I got a great idea. How about after the show, cocktails or beers or great food or watching TV? Everywhere. That's a Clearwater Crossing location. My friend Michael and the District Tap. You got damn good food, TVs everywhere, entertainment for you, too. On Friday, I can tell you they'll have live music. And, of course, downtown, anything that's going on around the field house, they're going to have you covered. You can post up there pregame, postgame, that, too, at the District Tap. It is a fantastic place to go. Make sure you tell them I sent you. Ask about their private rooms for those parties that you have. Really, that and the catering. You guys have parties, too, that are outside their particular venue. Got the catering going on for you, too. And live music on the weekends. That is thedistricttap.com today. No, it's John for Big Red Liquors. And again, a shout out to everybody with Big Red Liquors for powering us live from the beach leading up to that championship game on Monday. Big Red Liquors is always your big game or party headquarters. And this weekend, let's talk about the big brand of savings. You can save on Maker's Mark, Elijah Craig, and more. For example, Maker's Mark 750s, $4 off. That is an excellent price tag right there. And I know a little bit about Elijah Craig. Elijah Craig small batch, $5 off. That is big savings. Hennessy 750s, you're going to save on that as well. Budweiser, Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light, and more, all ice cold and at great savings. Hey, this started on College Avenue in Bloomington back in 1972. And I bet you, wherever you are right now, if you've ever had to get a supply, you have stopped at Big Red Liquors in your lifetime. Hey, let's do it again. 100-plus locations throughout the state of Indiana. There's one near you. To find out those deals, the red-hot deals, and the location nearest you online, that's bigredliquors.com.
The Ride with JMV.
You are more reptile than man, George. So low and flat that the foot of man is incapable of crushing you. How dare you?
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Yeah, the entire town of Zionsville was with me on Sunday night. It was great. Outstanding it was inside the Diplomat. I would also advise you, if you ever want to go on a vacation destination getaway in South Florida, on Hollywood Beach right there, the Diplomat is choice. Tell them I sent you, too. I had a great room. I wonder if people, because I walked around in my underwear a lot, and I didn't put, like, the curtains up, and I know that there are a lot of people across the way that are probably going, hey, man, can you close the curtains on that? Come on. Come on now. Ah, it was great. Just a great time, a great trip, and a great outcome. I think I gave this stat on Monday. Did anybody remember the stat I gave regarding our good friend from Fox 59, Chris Hagan? He had told me, and he didn't make the trip down there, but he had told me that in championship game situations, since he joined the crew at 59 here in Indy, 2 of 10 were teams in championship situations. Now 3 and 10. The Colts, now winning the Super Bowl in Miami against the Bears. I think the Fever would have been 1. And now this one, 2 of 10. So clearly, Hagan not making the trip could have made the difference. Man, Miami was so good up front. Did anybody else, either sitting in the stands or watching at home, think, holy crap, these guys off the edge are stratospherically better than anybody the Colts have coming off the edge? Anybody like to have Reuben Bain Jr. coming off the edge? In that game in particular, that dude was relentless. IU was really fortunate they survived that. And they were also fortunate their quarterback survived that. He took an absolute beating. But Fernando Mendoza is the dude. He is the dude because he is a leader. You start right there. The leader. But they have guys coming off the edge. And of course, the call that wasn't made, that helmet to helmet that should have been targeting by Thomas, I think it was, to start the game. It's almost like how they started against Ohio State, which was a legal hit by Caden Curry, the former center Grove player for Ohio State. But it's almost like that after you shake off the cobwebs, you kind of knew it was on. Did you not? With Mendoza after that? I thought that was a moment you kind of knew that it was on. You talk about a tough dude. That is a tough guy right there. The Colts fans kept saying, man, this guy coming off the edge. Yeah, Torrey was really good, I thought. I know that Fletcher had some issues after the game with Tucker. Fletcher is a good running back. Malachi Toney goes without saying. And what it really came down to was IU had a dude under center, and Miami couldn't trust theirs. And I thought Kurt Cignetti and company worked that angle about as well as you could. Without question. Good stuff going on. Jamie says, it's your hotel room. You don't have to put on clothes for your neighbors. Hope they enjoyed the show. They got a little bit of show right there. I had a great time. Thank you very much. JMV, the Publix on Ocean Drive in Hollywood wanted to thank you for stopping by and wanted to let the record sales of cottage cheese and hummus over the weekend. I know it. I know. People were going, wait a minute, what are you getting again? Where are you going with this? What's your problem? Yeah, it was definitely me and definitely my problem. But it was exceptional. Text line message here. JMV, I was at the game. Amazing experience. Quick comment tied to the Miami fan base. I believe that may be the most media-driven fan base. They actually exist in the nation. For them to be outsold on their own stadium is fascinating takeaway when you think about the brand of Miami. IU owned the city. I will say this. It was an awakening. I don't know how else to put it for IU fans. And if you could be a part of it, and even if you were questioning whether or not you could be at the game itself, you wanted to be a part of it. You wanted to be close to it. Because as I mentioned, this is one of one. For Miami, this is like one of many. I mean, hell, the 1987 team was better than that one. And this is what I tried to explain to Andrew Brandt and all these other people that did 6 months of research on Google about IU's football program and then immediately tagged this whole experience to the finances. The finances are a part, but not the most significant part. For IU fans, it is just the moment that has never happened. And I don't know how hard that is to explain. And then when you go back to the history, if you go back further than a year ago, you can easily understand why. We've never seen anything like this in college football. I've said this, the only thing that is close to it for me, because of where this program was, the ass end of jokes everywhere. Everywhere. Not even recognizable. To winning a national title, I've not, first of all, I've never been anything close to around something like what I witnessed on Monday. Never. Not even close. Secondly, the only story that I can remember that had this major amount of impact was 1980 in Lake Placid. That's it for me. And I know that I've been in debates before about, and this is not minimizing the experience for your favorite team and how incredible the moment was. I'm just talking about it from my experience. I've never witnessed anything like that. Certainly never live, but nothing like that in terms of holy crap storyline. And that was more of a David versus Goliath. You had an interesting mixture of the past, which was certainly David. I can't get much more past, the stories like this other than what I'm telling you right now. But you get the David story of the past, but IU wasn't that. IU this season was not that, as I've explained before, the little engine that could. They were, simply put, the best team in college football, the best executing team in college football. Both sides. And that's what they were. But you go past this year, and they were the worst college football program in terms of losing anybody has ever seen. So as much as I'm not going to try to minimize, what you think is your favorite moment of all time and what was most impactful for you, because I'm not you, but for me, I've never seen a sports story like this one. The only thing else that would be higher on my list would be Miracle on Ice. For a variety of different reasons. But nobody, and I mean nobody, ever expected this. And this was far beyond just, IU fans and finances and the landscape and how things have changed. And you can buy your own team. I mean, hell, you can spend all the money that you want, but you better damn sure bet that you choose the right people. Because nothing drags you down more than a team or guys, I mean, the energy suckers in the room that you might bring in that can't stop staring at their own reflection and looking at their own box score and hearing how great they are, those are the ones you might pay a lot for. They may be a 4-star and a 5-star in the past, but they're a 1-star in your locker room, and that's going to drag your ass down. Yeah, the disappointment last night of the Boilermakers, too, that was profound to me because you had a couple of turnovers late, a couple of made threes, and certainly one was just some really discombobulated defense. It was the first loss in the Big Ten for the Boilermakers, but it was one where you go, wow, that was just kind of a giveaway last night. Up 6 with 150 remaining. IU a loser to number 3 Michigan, 86-72 up in Ann Arbor. And Butler a 7-point winner over DePaul last night. Pacers on the road against the Celtics coming up later on tonight. Got your coverage for that. Bob Kravitz going to join us. Kevin Bowen going to join us tomorrow's show. Babe Offenberg tomorrow. Steve Walsh tomorrow. Tom Crean is going to join us coming up on tomorrow's show. And Rally House coming up on Friday. And yet another situation with some gear. Championship gear with IU football with the Rally House coming up on Friday at Clearwater Crossing. I shall explain, and yet another opportunity for you if you're an IU fan and you want to commemorate exactly what this season and that game Monday night meant to you. Got an opportunity for you coming up as well. Don't go anywhere. The stream, the app, HD Radio, AAA Membership Lounge, YouTube Live, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Hey, John here for Rally House. We'll be there coming up on Friday at Clearwater Crossing. Cannot wait to see you, and you get your Hoosier National Championship gear, Rally House, plus the exclusive Locker Room Collection, too. Level up high your fandom at one of these Central Indiana locations. 5 here and around Indy, Bloomington, and Lafayette as well. To check out what they have to offer, rallyhouse.com, but heck, I can show you what they have to offer coming up on Friday. Again, Rally House beginning at 3 with this show. Clearwater Crossing will be up there on the north side for you beginning at 3 coming up on Friday. Your Hoosiers National Championship gear and exclusive Locker Room Collection gear. Rally House around Central Indiana, and the location with me live with this show on Friday at Clearwater Crossing with 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. LD Smith Plumbing and Drains. I'm telling you, I've heard stories about significant snowfall on the way. If you have clogged drains, well, problematic across the board. Hey, make sure that you have no cloggage going on in or around your home or the foundation, and go with the best. Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing and Drains, 317-927-7186. Not only that, but anything plumbing-wise that needs to be done, exceptionally cool temperatures, I mean extreme, can compromise the pipage. Don't let that happen. But if it does, you know who to call. The absolute best in a pinch in case of any emergency plumbing-wise. LD Smith Plumbing and Drains, 317-927-7186, online, ldsmithplumbing.com. Hey, great idea. Best in Realty, Mark Dietel. Mark Dietel Realty, 317-755-4232. That's markdietel.com, markdietel.com today. Anybody thinking about maybe as we progress through the wintertime, get into the spring, maybe upgrading on the size of your home, size of your yard, a little property level upgrade for you too? Best to do it is Mark Dietel, 317-755-4232. No matter the situation, Mark and his team prepared to make sure you get exactly out of this what is necessary for you. What you like. Complete satisfaction. In fact, Mark Dietel is the only real estate expert I trust and recommend with the sale of my home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Pick your move date. No long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. It's Mark Dietel. Mark Dietel Realty, the number one more time. Hey, use it now at 317-555-4232, or save it for later. Ooh, that sounds like the English beat. 317-755-4232. Online, markdietel.com, markdietel.com today.
The Ride with JMV.
Have you ever killed anyone?
Yeah, but they were all bad.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, James, what the hell day is this? Did it just say Monday? Am I behind here? What day is this? Sunday?
I'd have to listen to it again.
Said coming up on Monday. By the way, that was Jake's voice, but that's not Jake's issue right there. Jake put that in back on Friday. Today, my ass is really lost right now. Indiana State Bradley coming up later on tonight. Give the fellas a win. Oh, I'm thinking about those moments 2 years ago, the Sycamores that marched to the NIT championship. I love that. Indiana State Bradley, Mo Valley, 7 o'clock tonight from Peoria. Purdue, Fort Wayne, Detroit, Mercy tonight, too. Oh, Kev Bowen's going to join us top of the hour. He's going to be excited about Notre Dame. Number 22, North Carolina tonight, ACC. IU, Indy, and Oakland. Southern Illinois, or as they say where I'm from, Southern Illinois. They're going to pull out their swords. Southern Illinois and Valpo tonight, also in the Mo Valley. Meantime, I remember this guy very well on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. We bring him back. His name is Bob Ibach. We've had him on before. Nyco Sports, and we've talked about a variety of things championship level-wise in the past around here. This is the first time it has been, Bob, I think, in my recollection, anything involving IU football. Is that correct?
It is. I don't think we believe we talked back in 1895, you know?
Probably not. We didn't. I probably would have been on the air on that particular day, but no, you're absolutely right. So, Bob, explain to the folks out there, especially those IU fans, what you have to offer them right now.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm offering something to them, IU fans. Listen in, because it was history. 16-0 season, national championship for the first time in the school's history. And everybody's out there wanting to celebrate. And this is the fun part, because I was with the Chicago Cubs for many years. In the 1980s, I was in their front office with Dallas Green. And I know when they won the World Series back in 2016, and all the people in Chicago went crazy. When I saw all the fans in Indianapolis supporting the Hoosiers football team this year, it reminded me of those memories that I had from the 80s and, of course, 2016. And what we have for fans now, you're going to want to go ahead and put this information down and do it soon, because these will sell out. I'm talking about a full-size, limited edition championship football, fully licensed. You'll get a number certificate of authenticity when you purchase these. Only 5,000 of these will ever be made, and they're at $129.95 each. I guarantee you, you get one of these or get a couple for yourself and friends, they will go crazy. You'll get a numbered certificate of authenticity. This is the real deal. And in a moment, I'll give out a toll-free number and a website. how you can purchase these, because only 5,000 will ever be made. When I checked in with Nyko Sports, they are about almost halfway sold out. So you're going to want to do this sooner than later. I know a couple of people have already called up and ordered, 5 or 6 at a time. On the top panel of the ball, you'll have the complete undefeated regular season and the postseason in the college football playoffs. You'll have all the scores of every game, the opponents right next to an Indiana helmet. You'll have on the panel below, it'll have the official championship logo there. It stands out right in the middle of that panel. We have another panel which features the Big Ten championship logo, the score of that particular game, helmet logo on that one. We got the Rose Bowl and Peach Bowl logos on there. Really nice. Everything is embossed on there, so it'll keep it pristine, looking for years to come. It's almost like getting it engraved, which takes a little longer to produce these things, but you will be happy when you have them, because 10 years from now you can look back and they look as fresh as they were the day you got it. Now, again, these are $129.95. Here's the 2 ways to order these, because, again, only 5,000 will ever be made. The toll-free number, 800-345-2868. That's 800-345-2868. Or go to the website, NICOsports.com, NIKCOsports.com. That's NIKCOsports.com, or 800-345-2868. And, John, one of the important things about this is, and I've done this for years with the college football playoffs, it raises money for school teachers. And in this case, through the Extra Yard for Teachers, which has been the official charity of the college football playoffs, Nyko Sports is up to over $3.4 million that they've raised for charities, and we get hundreds of thousands of dollars raised each year for the college football playoffs through things like this. So if we all have had, school teachers in our life that have been our mentors and helped us out when we were younger, this is a great way to salute school teachers, and all the money stays in Indiana.
It's Bob Ibach with us from Nyko Sports. Hey, one more time before we bail right here, give that number and the information on how people, and I'll continuously remind them of how you can get a hold of you guys before you guys run out of what you have. But unique opportunity, to say the least, Bob. Sure.
It's 1-800-345-2868. That's 800-345-2868. The website is NICOsports.com. You can see the football there. It's stunning. NIKCOsports.com, NIKCOsports.com. And JMV, you can go on there and download instantly a picture of the football and like a gift certificate. So if you want to give it out to somebody for upcoming, say a anniversary or a birthday or something like that, maybe even a Valentine's Day gift, you can do that and let them know that this will be coming to them probably in about 6 to 8 weeks. It takes a little longer because every football is handmade, and all the embossing process, which keeps it pristine looking for years to come, makes sure that 10 years from now you show this off and it won't have faded. It'll stay brand new.
Bob, I appreciate it. It's great to have you back on, because that means something was one of significance around here. That's always a great thing. Love that.
Well, listen, it's always a pleasure talking to you, and stay warm there. I know it's where I'm calling you from in the Chicago area. We're looking forward to the minus 30 degrees coming up in a couple days.
Yeah, I'm pumped up about that too, buddy. Bob, good to hear from you again.
Okay, be good now. Be safe.
It's a Bob Ibach right there on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. You can take advantage of that right now, too. Hey, shout out to David really quick as we hit a break. I was hanging out with him in the Diplomat Bar. He did mention the bar closed at 1 a.m. after the game. It could have been much later than that. It was like BYOB, which I'm not a big fan of. But I still love the Diplomat. What a great spot. Shout out to David. I know that Bob and Mindy Winkler, that we know very well around here, was a part of that. And, hey, shout out to the community of Zionsville, James, because they're all there. I saw every one of them. I love you guys. Somebody's got to get me up to Zionsville sometime. The Friendly, you guys got a bar for me to do something live in Zionsville? Come on now.
Yeah, from what I heard, there was hardly anybody left in the town for this game.
I don't know who was guarding Zionsville this weekend because there was nobody there. They were all down there, and I think they were all with me. Well done, Zionsville. Quick one. We'll come back. Bowen on the other side. Kravitz still to come. Busy day tomorrow. We're going to be at Rally House coming up on Friday. Further details. 317-239-1070. That's the text line. Check in via the phones at 239-1070. That would be really neat as well. 93.5, 107.5, The Fan. Weight loss journey starts right here. Starts right now with my friends at Premier Weight Loss. JMV here for Premier Weight Loss. You got the Fishers location, North Meridian, and you have some incredible people that will help you month after month make sure you are reaching your goals. Have you thought about it? Have you been a bit apprehensive? Have you thought, JMV, I don't know I can do it? I have a belief in you. I know that you can. If you're ready to start that path, that journey today, that is PWLindy.com. Medically supervised weight loss injections right here in Indianapolis. Get started. You work alongside, then you can have the results and feel as good as I do right now. Loved every second of it, and you will too. With Premier Weight Loss. Also ask about the electronic toning machine that they have right now. That's going to make you look and feel good too. No matter the reason why or the rationale you've taken as far as losing the weight, let Premier Weight Loss be the captain of that weight loss ship on that journey. PWLindy.com. Tell them I sent you today. PWLindy.com. John, you got that right. New car buying experience. His name is Eric Wilson. Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st State Road 37 in Fishers. It makes all the sense in the world. Why? Because your time is not easy to come by. You don't want to spend all your time shopping everywhere. You want something that is uniquely easy and hassle-free. Eric Wilson will lead you down that path during your car buying experience. The inventory, incentives to buy, that's like a big coupon to save. Then you get the service after the sale to maintain the life or to raise the bar on the life expectancy of your new vehicle buy. All this can be done at one place. Talk to my friend Eric Wilson and his fine staff. You're going to find him in Fishers. Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st State Road 37 in Fishers. Tell him I sent you.
The Ride with JMV.
Here's Johnny. David Letterman.
Hi, David. I'm Grandpa.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, so I haven't paid a damn attention to anything, which is not rare. What is this weather forecast of significant amounts of snow that I see? Because this looks like a bunch of crap to me. Is this true?
Yeah, it's not looking great for the rest of this week. Friday, we have a high of 12 degrees.
Great, 12.
Saturday, 13 degrees and some snow. Sunday, the high is 15, but the low is -2 with a good chance of snow.
-2. Does it say how much? Because I've got this in front of me that talks about 10 inches of snow here. There's no way that's true, is it? What's your AccuWeather forecast?
My
AccuWeather says this is a bunch of crap.
I am not seeing
This is awful.
anything on the snow accumulation. I will get back to you on that.
The AccuWeather forecast brought to you by a bunch of bull crap. Kravitz coming up after 5. Babe Laufenberg, Steve Walsh, Tom Crean, tomorrow's show. Rally House. Clearwater Crossing coming up on Friday. James, you have more.
On Sunday, the chance of snow is 80%, accumulating 3 to 5 inches.
3 to 5 inches? The hell's going on? What conference championships coming up on Sunday in football? In case you forgot, hell, I don't know if anybody cares about that anymore. Do you care? Anybody care? Who cares? Anybody caring about NFL's conference championships? Should we?
Maybe if you have a horse in the race still, but I don't know if anyone around here cares anymore.
I'm trying to think for a moment. Trying to think just for a moment about these matchups and who I'd want to win. Because I did have the Niners and the Texans, and that didn't work out. Broncos, Patriots? Yes? No? Rams, Seahawks? Let's ask Kevin Bowen on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Do you give a big fat crap about Sunday, Kev?
I think anybody but the Patriots.
What? Now, does that just because they're the Patriots? Because they're not the Patriots that we've known. Have you not shed that skin and gone, okay, it's almost funny to me because Mike Vrabel is there and not doing the work in Tennessee that luckily for the Colts he's not doing, or it could be even worse, unimaginably worse for the Colts right now.
Yeah, I got nothing really against Vrabel, but I don't know. Bob Kraft just I would prefer, honestly, probably prefer one of the NFC teams. I like watching Stafford play, and then I think the Seattle story, it's pretty cool. Obviously got fan bases, super passionate, but yeah, to your earlier point, and I mean, we're obviously with a totally different story here in our market, but yeah, it just seems like I don't really care about, Buffalo is still in it. I think I feel a little differently, but I don't really care about it in general, or I should say I probably don't care as much as I usually do.
Kev, all these other teams are proactive, even if they've had a much higher level of success than the Colts. What gives with that mentality? Why that winning mentality? Why that, we got to win at a higher level mentality when the Colts are pretty satisfied with what the hell is going on? Why is that?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think I've said that for several weeks, probably said it last year. I just think there's an acceptance of mediocrity over there, really from the top down. Which is, different than I think maybe it was, it used to be. But yeah, I mean, you look at Buffalo, you look at Baltimore, you look at, Pittsburgh's situation. I know is Tomlin kind of stepping away, but still, obviously Green Bay debated it. I mean, you look at the resumes that they have as their head coach and GM. I mean, they couldn't be, more in contrast for what you have here. One of the wilder stats right now is Shane Steichen being the third longest tenured coach in the AFC. I mean, that's a resume with no playoff wins.
I'm glad I didn't do that research. That's great.
7-22 against teams above 500, and you have the third longest tenure. I think it's Andy Reid, and Zach Taylor is also above them, and that was a guy that I think a lot of people thought could be fired. Granted, he's obviously made it to a Super Bowl and won some meaningful playoff games. So, yeah, there's just a different level of standard. I think acceptance here with the NFL team in our backyard versus many others.
Kev, how much do you think that a couple of things here, and we haven't talked about this because this happened on Friday and you guys were gone. I'm sure you may have talked about it on Monday. I don't know. But how much of just bringing everybody back, staying where you are, and then after this coming summer, moving out of Westfield and taking it to the complex, how much, if anything at all, do you believe that has to do with finances?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. This is one where, like, anytime we talk injuries, I just feel dumb. Like, I was fortunate to graduate college and certainly didn't measure anything medically. And then, I barely know my own finances, let alone billionaire people finances. But, I do think it's fair to have a general question about where things are at financially. I think it's also probably fair to say on the NFL scale of owners, we don't talk about the Colts in the top, 5 or 10. This is not Walmart money, into their franchise or, other businesses that are contributing to that. So, again, that's a question that I continue, to ask. I asked Carly something along those lines, back a couple weeks ago of, would paying two GMs, paying two head coaches, was that, at a factor in your decision making? And, she quickly downplayed it and said, we'll do anything we can to win. But, with 1 year left on Ballard's contract, 3 years left on Steichen, again, is that at play? Now, again, I don't pretend to know the finances of training camp either. From what I understand, basically it was a 10-year contract through 28 originally at Grand Park. And I believe in starting a couple years ago, they had out clauses 18 months ahead of time that they, could exercise. And I believe that's what's happening here. So, but again, I think the general question and, again, inheritance tax and, all that stuff, you're looking at probably about a $30 to $40 million decision in firing, Chris Ballard, Shane Steichen, and hiring new staff. Is that something that was at play here? I wish I had stronger conviction on it, but it's a question I hear a lot, and it's one that I'm curious about.
Logically speaking, I think everybody should be curious about that, considering the circumstances too. And really, I thought in the past, in let's just say a handful of decisions that actually worked out for this organization, Kev, the Westfield experience was one, because it gave an opportunity for those that normally don't get the chance to go to games to really soak up the atmosphere and be up close and personal to their favorite team and their favorite players. And honestly, taking that away is a load of crap.
Yeah, without question, it is definitely one of the biggest wins the franchise has had in quite a while. And, again, it's been a staple, as you know, since the move. I think 2017, the first year of Ballard, and I believe 2020, the COVID year, of course, I believe the only times they have not been, at Rose-Hulman or at Anderson or at Grand Park. And, we do the morning show quite often from up there. Obviously, you do afternoon shows up there. The access for fans is unbelievable. It's cheap, dirt cheap, and, you're closer in that, arena, if you will, than you would be if you had it at a high school stadium. Like, there's no track around the fields there at Grand Park. So it's tremendous. I'm always, very impressed when other NFL teams come there for joint practices. They echo that. They're like, this facility is unbelievable up here. So, yeah.
So then why do you jack with it other than finances then? Why do you? Because it's got nothing to do with, logistics and getting stuff here and there. Crap. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with finances, right?
Yeah, I wish I had stronger conviction on, knowing that, how much of is that really this, immense financial undertaking? If they really wanted to, just charge more for if they charged $10 to attend a practice, I don't think that would be the end of the world. I think seeing an NFL practice compared to, and the access you get from autographs and, again, just seeing and hearing everything that's going on, I don't think that's the end of the world either. Versus when they go to their own facility, I assume there will be, no access to fans or very limited. I guess they would have a couple of practices open to the public at whatever high schools or Butler or Marion or UND or Lucas Oil or wherever. So, I don't, the logistical aspect of it, sure. I mean, it is a little bit more than obviously having it at your own facility, but the financial thing for me, John, is a little bit more bigger than just training camp.
Sure. Yes, you're right.
To me, it's more of, okay, what are we looking at here? Now the wealth spread across 3 daughters, Jim's, passing, of course, and the inheritance tax that goes with that, the valuation of the franchise, and, what is that at 20%? And, is their valuation north of $6 billion? And now you start to play that out over a 15-year period. That's quite the payment to make each and every year. Is there any more to the story that maybe we don't know? Again, these are all questions I get, and I should probably stress this too, John. I get these questions from a lot of different areas, different people. This is not just one group of people that bring this up on a routine basis. There's a lot of people that bring this up, and this is probably a little bit of the private life that you just aren't going to know that much detail about it compared to other things about the franchise.
Morning show, one of the tri-hosts on the morning show, along with James Boyd and Jeff Rickard, Kevin Bowen on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Bob Kravis going to join us coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. I found myself, too, among all the other things that were going on at Hard Rock on Monday night with just the tears of joy being shed of those Hoosier fans around me upon winning. I also thought about, man, with the Colts, could the Colts use anybody, 3 or 4 guys off this Hurricanes defense right here? That would work out big.
There's a couple guys on the Indiana side of it. I think
you're probably right about that too, yeah.
Quite the NFL corner despite his size there. But, yeah, I mean, certainly those defensive ends. And, unfortunately, you look at any mock draft right now, Ruben Payne, top 10 pick, Keem Mesidor on the other side. Looks to be in the first round. He's a little bit on the older side of it. And, I do think, to steal a phrase from Kurt Cignetti to Chris Ballard, I do think this draft, again, without a first-round pick, it's got to be more about production than potential. Given the state of your franchise, given where you're at of kind of this 2026 window, if you want to call it that, as difficult as it is to find instant impact guys, particularly multiple picks, I think you have to find that. And, I brought this up on the morning show a couple of days ago, John. You go back to the draft a few years ago where they drafted Alec Pierce, Jelani Woods, Bernard Ryman, Nick Cross. They drafted those 4 guys in rounds 2 and 3. I think you look back on that group, again, Pierce, Woods, Ryman, Cross, you would sit here as these guys have reached the end of their rookie contracts, and you'd say that's a pretty good draft class, when you look at those players. But you would have said that after year 1 of their NFL seasons. But again, that's kind of where the Colts are now banking on. I think having the defense in particular, take a bit of a step forward is you're going to have some instant impact out of those rookies. And, the Darius Leonards are anomalies, frankly. So, again, can you opt for a little bit more? Hey, let's look at the production of a D'Angelo Pons, not the RAS score of a D'Angelo Pons. I think that would be very healthy for Chris Ballard to try to operate in.
All right. Your thoughts on going back to Monday night? I know you shared that yesterday, I'm sure, on the morning show. You guys had reflection for the better part of 3 hours yesterday. I could not get over the fact, and when I was talking to people leading up to that game, and I was glad to see it, everybody was simply put kind of living in the moment because it was so surreal. But to see 65% of that crowd being IU at Hard Rock, the home field of Miami, and then being able to celebrate and seeing the emotional tears of joy, that is something. And this team and this championship is, to me, as far as sports stories in my lifetime, second to the Miracle on Ice. There's nothing that really gets even close to it because of what they were and now what they are and what they transitioned to so quickly. It has been absolutely incredible. But, being a part of that particular moment, after that sharp interception and seeing fans in the stands react in the fashion in which they did is something that will be impactful for me forever. That was, Kev, 1 of 1. regardless of what happens, you'll never have that moment again. That was, to me, incredible.
Yeah, I can certainly imagine what it was like being there. I mean, obviously, from afar, you see so much of it, whatever, on social media, or, I mean, hell, just within my own family, and watching, people react to, really, I think if you would have considered IU football in a dream scenario, whatever, 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, the realistic dream was, why can't we be, Purdue? Why can't we be Minnesota? Why can't we, somehow, some way, scratch and claw to 7 wins every couple of years and, go to the Motor City Bowl and beat Central Michigan? Like that to me was kind of the ask or the hope. And it seems so far-fetched. I mean, everybody can tell their own, Indiana story. We had a caller yesterday who kind of called in and, shared his 4 years when he was there. My 4 years, Ball State beat them twice, I want to say. Maybe it was a third time. Ball State definitely beat them twice. They won 3 Big Ten games in 4 years, 3-28 in the Big Ten. And honestly, the most football headline I remember from my 4 years down there was Kevin Wilson yelling at a McNutt RA. Like that was the biggest news item. And now, we're talking about them as, maybe one of the best college football teams ever. And even if you don't want to go that far, it's obviously the greatest college football story that we've seen. So, to go again from the realistic goal just being, hey, can we just somehow schedule our way to 6 wins and, get to a bowl game, and yet you've won your first bowl game since 91. And I think the cherry on top too, a la the Pacers run this year, having so many of those cinematic moments with Tyrese Halliburton. The Mendoza story speaks for itself. The Cignetti story speaks for itself. But, whether it's going to the Rose Bowl and playing Alabama and doing what you did to them, or, having the Big Ten championship in your own backyard and playing Ohio State in that game, and you win the game, and Aiden Fisher, cue up the fight song across, pretty much whatever, an 80%, 90% Indiana crowd, or the Atlanta semifinal game, to have a drivable, and I say drivable in quotes, but compared to most of those sites, to have a drivable semifinal game to where they overtook that stadium, and that city, of course, has been pretty iconic to Indiana athletics. That is another kind of cherry on top to the overall story. And we say all this, we haven't even gotten to what Omar Cooper did in, Happy Valley and that moment, during the regular season. So, it's pretty freaking incredible, honestly.
So Kevin Bowen with us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Like 4 years clear from them misspelling. Who was the player they misspelled Indiana on the front of his jersey about 4 years ago when he ran out onto the field?
Yeah, I can.
Do you think that needs to be somewhere? How is that not hanging up for, all right, this is where it was just, 4 years ago, I think, right? That should be hanging somewhere. That should be a value, I would think.
Yeah, put that in your man cave right there. I know. I picture, that needs to be hung up at Nick's. Picturing his jersey number was like 33.
It was 33. It was 33. Hey, James, look up 33 4 years ago. I don't remember who that was.
I was going to say, try to drum up your past, IU football memories. But just
hold on a second, Kev. James, you got an answer for us. 33.
David Holloman.
Okay.
Boy. Sounds like a stand-up comedian coming to Crackers here in a couple of nights.
Sounds like somebody's going to try to do my taxes this year.
But think about, I was in college a long time ago. I get it, but whatever. 15 years ago, first off, Indiana University hires a football coach from Oklahoma. One of the big college football programs, and Kevin Wilson, and you put that man up in a dormitory suite. He's in McNutt for the first X amount of days on the job. And while he's there, he gets in a fight with the RA because he's not being tended to, quickly enough. The RA is trying to handle, drunk Kevin Bowen, down the hallway. That was a real story at a Big Ten football program. And now everyone is asking, pleading on their knees to how can we make our football program be like Indiana? How can we find Kurt Cignetti, NFL teams, the CEO aspect of Cignetti? I mean, it's unbelievable.
Unbelievable indeed. It is. Without question. Where to begin? Kevin Bowen, the morning show. He, James Boyd, and Jeff Rickard, 7 until 10 a.m. on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Pretty good stuff. It's, again, one of one. Something we will never, ever see again. Kevin, now, you're just kind of hoping that Purdue can shake off last night in the final minute and a half, minute 50 or whatever, and make something happen, because we might be of the frozen tundra the sports calendar with the way teams are going around here outside of that.
Oh, yeah. And the Purdue fan feeling is different. Obviously, if Indiana loses that game Monday night, sure, there's natural disappointment, but, you have all these other memories in the run, and you never thought in your wildest dreams you'd ever be there. The Purdue feeling, if they, got to that first Monday in April at Lucas Oil Stadium and didn't get it done, would be vastly different. But, yeah. It is quite a time, but boy, did we need it selfishly for us.
So the song, there's no doubt about that. We needed that bad. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, I'm very thankful that, Purdue has the makeup of a team that, albeit what happened last night, I still expect them to, be making a tournament run here in a few months.
So do you think for Little Five they can get ABBA to come out of retirement and play Little Five so they can sing Fernando live?
They didn't listen to us last week. Last week we suggested Xavier Johnson and Mackenzie Ibach lead them on the parade,
right? And
they didn't. They didn't listen to us. So you've got more pull down there than I. So get some ABBA out there and Dunn Meadow it up, or tailgate field it up, or that would be epic.
Do we? Have we ever done a study? And James can chime in on this too before I let you go. Have we ever done a study on what compels those that have a championship team that is theirs, that they're a fan of, to climb trees and light poles afterwards, or to set couches on fire? What happens there? Because I've never thought, hey, I can't wait to celebrate something. Let's set my sofa on fire, or let's climb this light pole.
No, but to be fair, I think there's probably some stained couches that you contributed to back in your college day that deserve to be set on fire.
I'll just flip the couch cushion over in case I didn't make it the night before. But no, do you have any idea? Did you ever do a study down there?
Boy, I can't say I do. That kid hanging from the Jimmy John sign and all his buddies, well, I don't even know if they were his buddies. They probably weren't. I guess everybody's on the same team on Monday night, but they're all yelling to him, "We got you! We got you!" And he jumped out. And by all accounts, unless I missed something, I haven't seen too many, arrests or injuries or crazy stories. So that was a well-behaved championship party, it sounded like.
It looked like it, too. There's no doubt it looked just like that. The shimmying up light poles has always been odd to me. I never really get it. But
that wasn't part of your Terre Haute DNA?
No, I didn't. I didn't climb a light pole when they went to the semifinal of the NIT. I got excited, though. I got excited for that all the way to the championship game 2 years ago. Got excited.
As you should have.
All right, buddy. Good to hear from you. My best to everybody up there, and we'll do it again next week. Thanks, Kev.
All right, John. Glad you had a great time.
Do Evan now, or you want to wait? Have Evan wait. Can you wait, Evan Sherrill, on the other side? Evan Sherrill's in studio from Cluster Truck. First time in a while. Maybe the first time he's been in the studio, but he's rocking Carhartt, because I know if you wear Carhartt, that automatically means you work your ass off. So he's working dude in the studio right here. Got Kravitz coming up at the top of the hour. If you've ever done a study in a psychology class or anything, why you celebrate by climbing a light pole, let me know. Let me know what your delicate research unearthed, if you've ever done it. Quick one, we'll come back. Busy show tomorrow. Rally House, Clearwater Crossing coming up on Friday. The details coming up. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. I got a great idea for you, of course. Big Red Liquors, 100 plus locations, state of Indiana. One near you. Great deals and more you can find online, bigredliquors.com. But what the heck? Let me explain to you some great deals. It's already Wednesday, so we're going to eyeball the weekend with a little heavy snow, some weather on the inbound. Hold up inside your spot. Make that stop at Big Red Liquors. Jack Daniels, you can get that 2 for $7 right now, too. Hennessy Cognac, or as they say where I'm from, a GC Cognac. You can get that 2 for $20 right now, too. Fireball, 2 for $3. Beatbox, have you had that, too? 2 for $7.77. Little Cuervo Gold for you, too. Just like your Steely Dan, nothing wrong with that. 2 for $6. You can find that. Those are 100 milliliters, by the way, at Big Red Liquors. Oh, yeah, by the way, if you go the non-alcoholic route, Heineken, NA, 6-pack bottles, $2 off. That and more, everything, in fact, you need at Big Red Liquors. And know this to be true, the first Big Red Liquors, 1972, College Avenue in Bloomington, Indiana. 100-plus locations now. It's spread out throughout the state of Indiana and one near you. To find it online, bigredliquors.com. John here with a tremendous idea. Would you like to join me coming up on Friday? Sure you would. Rally House, Clearwater Crossing. Get your Hoosiers National Championship gear at Rally House. Plus, have you checked out their exclusive locker room collection? That is Rally House. Now, we're going to be live there coming up at 3 o'clock, starting at 3. That is on Friday. Rally House, we're on the north side of Indy at Clearwater Crossing. You know that location? Maybe just go down the street to District Tap afterwards. Too. You know me, I like to Pied Piper to fun, but for IU fans, you can get all of that gear, the national title gear at Rally House, plus their exclusive locker room collection. Hey, not just where we're going to be coming up on Friday, but in fact, throughout central Indiana, you have 5 Indy area locations, also in Bloomington and in Lafayette. Join us coming up on Friday, 3 o'clock, Clearwater Crossing location of Rally House. Live show for you and I to hang out together, or for the information you need to check out the gear that they offer for that IU National Championship team and season. That's rallyhouse.com. Hey, JMV here for QC Kinetics. I'm on a hoop later on tonight. Why? How? 56 years of age, because I am feeling fantastic. The knee pain is gone. A few years back, I called, set up a consultation with QC Kinetics. Glad I did, because they use that innovative treatment, my body's own biologics. Who knew that my bod's biologics could do this work for me? It has, thanks to QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. Free, no obligation consultation for you to let QC Kinetics see if you qualify for the therapies they offer to help you successfully become pain-free. The therapies include PRP, plasma, and stem cells. My knee pain is gonzo, thanks to QC Kinetics. Going to hoop it up later on tonight, 4 or 5 days a week. Thanks to QC Kinetics, it can work out for you as well. Check out if you qualify, if you're the candidate at QC Kinetics, and you can rid yourself of that chronic joint pain. Give them a call right now. 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN today. Tell them JMV sent you.
The Ride with JMV.
Why not, Mr. Venkman? Because you did not use the magic word.
What is the magic word, Mr. Venkman?
Please.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, who wants to go see Mellencamp? Ruoff Music Center coming up July the 18th. That's on a Saturday. Is he doing 2 shows or just one? Oh, yeah. What is this? Hold on. Just one show on the 18th? I'm sorry, I'm all confused. I'm assuming this is the 18th on a Saturday.
Yes, July 18th at Ruoff.
Because I want to go. Now, hold on. We're not going to do this on the phones. This is going to be on the text line right now, 317-239-1070. For Mellencamp, you guys have been asking, and full disclosure, I think I forgot on Monday. So, Mellencamp tickets right here, James. Let's go with number 30 on the text line at 239-1070. Text line, say, James, by God, I want these tickets. And then go ahead and type in your favorite Mellencamp song. We all have a favorite. You're asking me what my favorite is. I like Love and Happiness. Serious Business. I love the song Serious Business. I like the stuff from the 90s, too. Your Life Is Now. I dig on that. I like Human Wheels. Here's one for you. I may be the only one. This is from the 89 album Big Daddy. I like Rudy Toot Toot, Rudy Toot Toot. We had it made in the shade like a ball through a hoop. Anybody remember Rudy Toot Toot? Evan Sherrill of Cluster Trucks in Studio. Am I making news for you? Don't know of Rudy Toot Toot?
I do not. I am not familiar with the
Well,
Mellencamp
he mentions the
deep
name
cuts.
of his daughter, Teddy. You know, Teddy Joe. They went out and had a picnic in Rudy Toot Toot. So, Rudy Toot Toot. Is your mic on over there? Hit that bad boy, James.
Oh,
I think there we go. Sorry, but now you're on over there. New studio for you. You haven't been in here, have you?
I have not.
Have you
This
not been
place
allowed?
is-
You just like dropped food off and left the last 2 weeks. What the hell?
I didn't want to step on any toes, you know. I wasn't sure about the whole security of the place. So this place is incredible, though. I mean, like, this is I think this is a huge upgrade. I don't know, but
Listen, and there have been technical issues and such, and that's
Yeah.
okay. I was so ready to get the hell out of that place. And not because I don't like it downtown, but I was sick of seeing. I probably shouldn't even go into it. People have told me not to go into it more in depth. I was tired of seeing some, so I'm okay. I like it here. So
Stephen Holder and Greg Rakestrow's pitch, though, the first few weeks, I guess, was very comical. I was a big fan of that.
No, the pitch. I think I was on the morning show yesterday morning, and I think I chipmunk out, but I told him it wasn't the whole audio situation here. It was just me because I only went to bed like 35 minutes before they called me. It wasn't really their fault of the technical issues around here. But no, Rudy Toot Toot, no?
No, not super familiar with the Mellencamp deep cuts, but
Can anybody tell me if in your top 3 Mellencamp songs, do you have Rudy Toot Toot? And James, you're going to have to play it coming up here in a minute. Had it made in a shade like a ball through a hoop. I always liked it because he referenced basketball right there. Anyway, did you guys see Mellencamp in his IU jacket getting ready before the national championship game that he sent out right there? He looked like he was about 3 inches tall. He looked like a little like mini Mellencamp, a little action figure Mellencamp. Hey, I thought, man, who's got the action figure of Mellencamp in that IU jacket right there? Pretty amazing stuff. All right, Cluster Truck, clustertruck.com. You got great deals going on right now, don't you, my brother?
we do, yes. You get the game day special on weekends for a few more weekends. That'll be through the Super Bowl. And then in March, we'll bring out the Dunk Fest special. That's everything dunkable: cheesy bread, chicken strips, chips and queso.
How about hummus?
Churros.
How about carrots and hummus?
No
Can
carrots
we
and
dunk
hummus with that, but you can dunk that. That's maybe we need to get a little.
I'm
like,
a big hummus eater.
Our hummus. I'll bring our hummus to you next time with some.
Do you
carrots.
have hummus?
Hummus, and our hummus is house made.
Do you have
It's
carrots
so good.
too?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Bring carrots and hummus, and I'll eat that as a side right
yeah,
there.
absolutely. Our hummus is fire.
I need somebody out there. Make sure, because I'm eating a lot of hummus right now. Hummus is not fattening, correct? I want to make sure. I know it's just ground up chickpeas, and I could eat chickpeas. That's not fattening. I want to make sure that hummus is good for us, because I'm eating incredibly large amounts of it.
I do think there's like some oil blend in.
Oil blend.
You know,
that would explain some things.
But it is good. Our hummus is spectacular. I'll bring you some.
Hummus. Oh, yeah. You got to do it. I love it. Hummus and carrots. I've never had carrots until a month and a half ago. And I've never had one in my life until now.
I heard you say that. That's hard to believe. My mom made me eat carrots.
Did you really?
Yeah. No.
So, all right. Is it good for your eyesight? Because my eyesight stinks right now.
I thought that was like an urban legend, but
is it not?
Maybe it is.
Well, if you remember in the film 16 Candles, Mike, the younger brother, says that the reason why his older sister, Sam, turning 16, eats carrots because it increases the size of her breasts. Is that true?
I don't think...
I don't want that. But I will take the eyesight. Now, somebody else can do that, and I'll, hey, thumbs up, but I don't want mine increased. But no, is that true? Is that urban legend too? I'm just curious. If it were in a John Hughes movie, I automatically believe it.
I haven't heard that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one.
Make sure. Hey, I've got salmon. Right on.
You do.
Cannot wait. Little hoop. Some salmon later on tonight is all good. What's James got?
Yeah, so salmon and roasted veggies for you with our lemon garlic aioli on the side. James requested Nashville hot chicken strips. I brought tater tots, which he did not request, but I feel like that has to go with the Nashville hot strips.
I'm always down for some tater tots.
Tater tots are good. It
so
seems
weird
like lunch at school
James.
right there. I know it. Is it weird? He's
yeah,
right
it's
in
really
there.
weird. Like,
yeah.
That was.
You like the studio with the window, though, don't you?
The window is nice. You guys definitely deserve the window, the old space. I like the old space, though. I did like the old space.
Oh, you liked it downtown? Yeah, you can smooch it. I'm glad we're here. There was a notorious double parker last week here.
Okay.
And I have shamed him into no longer double parking because I saw it every day.
I did ask James. I definitely parked in that lot, and I was like, "You think I'll be okay?" He said, "Did you park in a visitor spot?"
Yeah.
I did not, and he was like, "We'll see. They're pretty strict." So
I have been looking out to make sure I don't see a
beautiful.
tow truck, so I think we're good right now.
Very nice. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, the parking, it was the best part of what we left because I loved having that spot. This, not so much, but everything else I like.
I have to disagree with you there, though, because we're right by the downtown Indie Kitchen. Finding parking on the circle at 9 a.m., noon, and 4 p.m. is very tough.
Right.
And you guys have parking right outside. I mean,
right. For you, it's better.
For me, it's great.
I just liked having the gated parking garage. So anything downtown, I could just park there and walk to it. That part was cool.
They never gave me access to the gated parking lot. I guess I never, security didn't get that for me. So
man, I'm glad otherwise that we're out of there. All right, clustertruck.com. What's the promo code?
Clustertruck.com, promo code Big Fan. I also have to shout out our first franchisee, Joe Curtis, is opening his kitchen in Carmel.
Joe Curtis in Carmel. What's Carmel get everything nice?
So, yeah, he's opening in Carmel in February. It'll be our return to Carmel. He's our first franchisee. You can learn more about the franchise opportunity at ownaclustertruck.com.
Good.
And you can sign up for the Carmel mail list at ownaclustertruck.com/franchisees.
That's outstanding.
Yeah, sorry about the rant there.
No, it's all good. When are you going to bring something to like Greenwood or Bargersville or something? Sometime soon?
We would love to be in Greenwood. So
we'd love
just
to have
looking
you
for the
down there
right
too.
Looking for the right franchisee, and
then.
if the right one is listening, ownaclustertruck.com, and you can find out more information.
Why not?
Yeah.
Little money behind it. Make some cash. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. All right. Evan, Cheryl, Cluster Truck in studio. Big fan, right?
Promo code Big Fan.
We got the dunks What is it again? The Dunk
Fest special coming up in March.
Yeah, I'll wait for that, brother.
I'm hoping we get some work with a Butler basketball player to promote, so that'd be cool.
Well, no.
That would be cool. And, big things coming. And I'm a big fan of you guys, so I just appreciate the time. I appreciate the time.
Next week, the salmon, too, but the hummus and carrots.
I got you.
For my
Absolutely.
eyesight. Thank you very much. All right, Evan. Thanks, brother.
Thank you, guys.
Big fans. The promo code SAVE, clustertruck.com. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Bob Kravitz, top of the hour. James, do we have Mellencamp tickets to give away that we haven't given away earlier this week?
Oh, I'm trying to double up right now.
Oh, you're doubling up. Oh, look at you guys. See, if you were listening right now, you have the opportunity to double up thanks to me forgetting to do it on Monday.
And we have had quite a lot of people chiming in to try and get these tickets. This might be one of the more popular ones we've done on the text line.
By the way, Zionsville, because I guess I'm now kind of a honorary member of Zionsville in the community after this weekend. Terry Brown says Cluster Truck needs to deliver to Zionsville. Shout out to Zionsville. Somebody needs to get me up to Zionsville to do a live. I've been to the Friendly before. I do love the Friendly.
So you were inducted as an honorary citizen
I think
of Zionsville?
I was, yeah, because everybody was around me from Zionsville. Like whole Zionsville and Trent Green was also in the bar. He was in the hotel where I was too.
Oh, really?
Matter of fact, yeah. Quick break, we'll come back. Kravitz, top of the hour. You and I can go 239-1070 coming up on the other side, too. College hoops from last night. Other than Butler, not good. Different circumstances for Purdue and IU, but not good in terms of winning. Pacers Celtics coming up later on tonight. We got to check out the coaching tout board that is going on throughout the NFL as teams search for their head coaches. Will Mendoza be the number one overall selection? You had both Mark Davis and Tom Brady at the national championship game. It was like me, Davis, and Brady all together. Like the three amigos at Hard Rock on Monday night. Stream the app, HD Radio, AAA Membership Lounge, YouTube Live, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Hey, Johnny, for Rally House, you want to join me coming up on Friday, 3 o'clock, live show, Rally House location, Clearwater Crossing. Why? Because you can get your Hoosiers National Championship gear at Rally House, plus what they have as exclusive locker room gear collection. You guys are going to love that, too. Rally House, your best spot for officially licensed gear for every Central Indiana college and pro sports team. But you've got the National Championship activewear IU fans absolutely need. Rally House. We're going to be there 3 until 6 coming up on Friday. But hey, in and around Central Indiana, 5 Indy area locations, also in Bloomington and in Lafayette. To see what you're missing out on right now and why you need to join us coming up on Friday, rallyhouse.com. Now, Big Red Liquors powers the JMV Takeover every Saturday night. Hey, by the way, too, back on Saturday night, 6 until midnight after a Saturday Half in the bag hiatus where I was down in South Florida, but back and ready to rock. Thanks to our friends at Big Red Liquors coming up on Saturday night on B105.7. But you can take advantage of these deals right now and going into the weekend at Big Red Liquors. Are you ready? How about this at Big Red Liquors? Maker's Mark, Elijah Craig, and more big time savings. We're talking big name brands and real savings this week at Big Red Liquors. Maker's Mark 750s, $4 off. Elijah Craig small batch, $5 off. Hennessy 750s, you'll get $1 off of that as well. Captain Morgan Spiced 175s, $2 off. Anybody still do Diet Dr. Pepper and Captain Morgan, just out of curiosity? You can get that ready for the weekend, courtesy of our friends at Big Red Liquors. Oh, yeah, 2 ice-cold beer ready to go for the big games coming up this weekend. Budweiser, Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light products. I'm sure you're going to find the Modelo in there, too. The Oro, Low-Cal, the Michelob Ultra, Low-Cal beers, all at Big Red Liquors. 100-plus locations. You're going to find those great deals and more, and the location nearest you. That's BigRedLiquors.com. Medically supervised weight loss injections in Indianapolis, that is Premier Weight Loss. Get started on your weight loss path today at pwlindy.com. No matter the reason why you want to lose the weight, you can do it. And believe me, along the way, they're going to tell you exactly what your focus is going to be. For me, it was starting with visceral fat, because I had more than it was necessary. Actually, I think that was my entire body was visceral fat. Now, none. 35% body fat percentage level, now down to 12, thanks to Premier Weight Loss. So along the way, not only did I do the weekly injection, but also I did the work. So you can not just maintain, but you can go above what you think your goal might be. And they watch exactly what you're doing every step of the way, from Sam to Lauren and the incredible staff you're going to find at Premier Weight Loss. To get started on that weight loss journey has never been easier. Log on, tell them I sent you. That's pwlindy.com. Weight loss journey starts here. pwlindy.com. Tell them I sent you.
The Ride with JMV.
Son, you got a panty on your head. Just drive fast, eh?
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Oh, yeah. This would be from Big Daddy in 1989, I believe. Anybody remember this Mellencamp classic called Rudy Toot Toot? James?
Are you sure it's the Big Daddy? Because this says the Lonesome Jubilee.
Lonesome Jubilee?
Yeah.
Oh, hell.
1987.
Oh, man, I completely whiffed on that then. Lonesome Jubilee's the one with the old man on the front, right?
Yeah, they're sitting at a bar or something.
Yeah, my bad on that. Turn this up. What do you guys think? Top 3 Mellencamp song right here. You think you'll sing that?
You might be alone in that one.
So my bad, Lonesome Jubilee and not Big Daddy for Rudy Toot Toot right there. Hey, by the way, too, shout out to Litzy. Chris Litzy, the hummus update, high in fiber and protein, keeps you feeling full longer, reducing overall caloric intake. Healthy fats, blood sugar control, nutrient dense, offers vitamin, minerals, and antioxidants. Thank you. We have a Feinbaum update. Anybody want a Mr. Peanut without the monocle update? BT Deuce says you got to give him credit for admitting he was wrong. So I don't think we can make fun of somebody that is owned being wrong. And really, across college football, those that talk up the sport, nobody has been as inaccurate as Feinbaum. Do you have that sound for us, James?
The one where he said he wasn't convinced about Kirk Cignetti?
No. See if you can find that. It is Paul Feinbaum from 43 minutes ago. While you're doing that, my good friend J-Law is at 239-1070 right now. Hello, J-Law. How are you, brother?
Hey, I'm still recovering. My voice hasn't gotten back yet.
Man, your voice is, I'm telling you, you are awesome. Your tears of joy and emotion was something that I won't forget, standing right there next to me.
Hey, it was overwhelming.
Yeah, and also because you had to urinate about 17 times. But yeah.
Lord, I know. Hey, a couple things.
Yes.
One, the Bullseye event package was great. And you as a friend and kind of supervising each other, I totally appreciate.
I needed.
The fact that,
we went out on that boat. I needed more supervision than I thought I needed there. So thank you very much for
Mike
that.
Poe for that as well. Also, thanks to Marsha for calling me from Bullseye at the airport, making sure I was okay since I didn't get back on the charter bus.
Well, I'm glad you told me you guys are getting ready to leave because I wasn't about to be on it. So I'm glad. So anyway,
two interesting stats from that game that aren't should be on the stat sheet. The two guys above us losing their wedding rings during the game.
They did. They were cheering so hard their wedding rings flew off and fell into a row at our feet. Yes,
we found them though. You
guys did locate them.
And then shout out to Lenny, our driver, back to the hotel.
Lenny was outstanding. He waited for us too. And then I know Mike was next to us, and I forget the lady's name that was next to Mike, but Teresa, because they were sitting next to us, they got to ride back with us too. And we got back 90 minutes before the bus did.
Well, yeah, we had a police escort out there, if you recall, right?
We did have a police escort out there. That's weird. Lenny was awesome, though. And Lenny knew it. Lenny was like the most confident person that I've met. He was very confident about his abilities to get us back in time.
Oh, 5 stars to him. Yeah. And then the last thing about the fun stuff was I think we got pranked on that carousel club. The guy who told us to go there.
Yeah. Yes, I think you're right. I will say this, though. I mentioned this earlier. I am a big fan of Latin music and Latin dance. I can't do it, but I enjoy watching it, and I would like to learn. And that was pretty cool to watch it happening. It was cool.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But, hey, thanks again for allowing me to be part of it. And if people have an opportunity to go to a Bullseye event, especially on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity like the Natty with Indiana, take advantage of it. They do it right. Everything's planned out.
Yeah.
You have to worry about a thing, and it's a A-plus operation.
It was fantastic, and it was great to spend that time and to see you loving that moment. It was awesome, J-Law.
Absolutely. And going down Saturday, I hope, staying out in 90-degree weather for the celebration.
You got that, but you got a call with your normal double shot power coming up on Saturday night, too, I'm assuming.
It'll be the last one of that for the year. I'll retire it.
You got it. Thanks, pal. I appreciate it. Great time with you.
Thank you.
You
Bye-bye.
got it. That's J-Law right there. By the way, I should mention, to our good friend Mike Poe, along with DJ Jones, that's Isaiah Jones's dad, who's been on the show before, took us out on a boat, and we hung out. Well, Isaiah Jones got a younger brother, Zach, that plays at Colgate, and got to hang around with the family, the Jones family, not only on the boat, but at their house that they had rented out up in Fort Lauderdale. Got to thank Mike Poe for getting us, and then Matt Goins of AAA was also on that boat and with us, too. It was a great time to be had by all, and that shout out to BullseyeEventGroup.com. Bob Kravitz on the other side. We'll go over, again, that national championship victory by IU and some more stuff that's going on right now, including college hoop. That and more, 5 o'clock hour. Don't go anywhere. AAA Membership Lounge, YouTube Live, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Oh, we're lucky because Friday we're going to be up at Clearwater Crossing at Raleigh House doing a live show beginning at 3. But after that, we can go over to the District Tap at Clearwater Crossing, make sure we don't miss a minute of any sports going on, have damn good food, take advantage of happy-hour specials. Just have a Friday at Clearwater Crossing. Northside location, downtown Indy as well, just a block from the field house. That is the District Tap, the place to go. Weekend live music. And as always, if you're planning a party or having a party, the catering that they offer and the event space that they have for you is can't miss. To find out more, thedistricttap.com today. I'm John. Have a great idea for you if you want your real growing hair back. 317-522-2995. Not on your back, but if you want your real growing hair back, 317-522-2995. It is WeGrowHairIndy.com. Seriously, people ask me all the time, and I said, yeah, 9 years, it absolutely worked. I was losing it. It was gone. The classic horseshoe design. That is now what I can do anything with. I can go back to the Alford or do a buzz cut, whatever. I could do the old Clooney. Remember the Clooney forward push with the bangs back in the 90s? It all works. The Julius Caesar, I think they also call that. You can get it if you get your real growing hair back again. 317-522-2995. WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
The Ride with JMV.
Attention, whoever you are, this channel is reserved for emergency calls only.
Lady, do I sound like I'm ordering a pizza?
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, James, quick question. Is that old-ass promo going to stay in there forever?
I think I'm about to go in there.
I just think that Mavis used that for Query and Company forever. Hey, turn this up really quick. Shout out to the Talking Heads. You're going to get David Byrne of Talking Heads, not once but twice, coming up in May. And I have never seen, I wish they were all together, but this is David Byrne, and he is the architect. You're going to get that at the Mira Old National Center coming up in early May. Friday and Saturday, that is going to be a can't miss. Now, I don't have tickets for you right now, but somebody should cobble together something so we can give those away, and that is something I would want to attend as well. David Byrne of Talking Heads, back-to-back, coming up in May. Pacers, Celtics coming up later on tonight, too. College hoop from last night, we'll get to that story, and, of course, still with what was the national championship-winning Indiana Hoosier football program over Miami on Monday night. The celebration 1 until 1:30 in Bloomington coming up on Saturday. And to talk a little bit more about that and everything else, Bob Kravitz. BobKravitz.com is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. First things first, you ever seen the Talking Heads?
Oh, I saw the Talking Heads in New York many years ago. Man. Yeah. I have not seen David Byrne during his solo act. I'm sure it's terrific. I'm sure it's very bizarre.
Yeah.
David Byrne is a bizarre dude.
Yeah, there's no doubt. But they came up with the 80s, some of the most classic music. And it goes on and on, their catalog.
Yeah, burning down the house. I mean, all that stuff. It's funny, when I was in college, I won't make this long and bore you, but, you know, they used to have parties in kind of the common room, and they'd be playing disco, you know, because that's what all the girls wanted to listen to. Meanwhile, me and my loser friend stayed in my room, did some illegal stuff, and listened to Talking Heads and stuff like that.
Joining us now from BobKravitz.com, Bob Kravitz, who evidently never pulled any strings while in college. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, even though we love the Talking Heads. By the way, Speaking in Tongues, one of my favorite albums of the 1980s.
One of the greats.
All right. It was the greatest moment that I've ever been a part of. And obviously, the Miracle on Ice will always stand the test of time. But I haven't in my lifetime been around anything quite like this season and that championship game with IU beating Miami, with all that was accomplished and the slate that was wiped away of such a decades-long, era-long history of nothing but losing. Right. The most amazing thing I have seen. What say you?
I still side with Miracle on Ice as the great. I mean, this is the greatest comeback story, I think, in American sports. This is like, I guess, in the Premier League, Leicester City was like a third division team, and they went out and won the Premier League one year. But to me, the Miracle on Ice was a bunch of college kids from the U.S. against Russian pros who are all in their late 20s and early 30s. And for them to win a hockey game because the goalie played out of his mind, Jim Craig, that to me is the most amazing thing I've ever witnessed in my life. I was only 20 years old at that time. But local story, this is right there with Butler going back-to-back in the national title. And, you know, if Gordon's shot goes in, it's right there with the IU story.
Yeah, it was something to be a part of that on Monday too, because I mentioned this, Bob. That was one of one. Regardless of what takes place further down the road, we will never ever see anything like that again. Never.
No. And again, you know, I saw this stat that from 1887 to 2023. Which is BC, before SIG, their winning percentage was .419. .419. I mean, they sucked. You know, I felt very lucky that I was in school when we had a good team. 1979 Holiday Bowl, and they knocked off number 1 BYU. I thought that was about as far as we were ever going to get. But I'm still trying to wrap my head around this whole thing.
And Bob Kravitz joins us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I think I heard the stat of, going back 3 decades, that 4-year IU football players had won on average 16 games during their career, their 4-year career.
Yeah.
And you had a 16-game winner unbeaten in one season. Again, it just magnifies how one of one this situation will be with a lot of amazing characters and obviously the process and the finances and the selection of guys, having the right guys.
Right.
But this was a team, Bob, that seemed to be ready for all sorts of circumstances, because you saw it again on Monday night. That was more like the Ohio State game you saw in the Big Ten title game. And, once again, IU was worthy of that cause.
Well, when you look at it, IU played a sloppy game by IU standards. I don't know what the final penalty number was, but I know they took the 2 penalties in the final minute or two before the Jamari Sharp interception. It's funny. I'm changing the subject just a little bit,
sure.
But I was looking at Facebook, which I rarely do, and I should not even bother doing it. But there's a New York guy, Craig Carton, who's been in jail, who's just a complete schmuck. I knew him in Denver.
Yeah, he's a huge jackass.
He's going off about how this is not the greatest story. They went out with Mark Cuban's money and spent their way to a championship, and I'm thinking, you could not be any dumber. Did you learn nothing in jail?
Well, here's his thing. He's realized, because of the IU fan reaction to this, that he's getting clickage from it. So he's riding this. I would guarantee you, even as huge of a dumbass as this guy is, he does not firmly believe that assertion. He's just saying it for the response and nothing more. And that, to me, that is what makes, to me, a clown, because you're not actually saying something that you believe. You're saying something because you want the reaction from it. That's just a huge jackass, and that's exactly what that bald dude is.
I can't get down with guys with journalists who just talk crap and don't mean any of it. I mean, I've talked a lot of crap in my life, believe me, and I've been wrong a million times. But I can honestly say I've never written anything I didn't truly believe.
Right.
The guy's he's a weasel.
And here's the thing is, I mean, he's the one that said that IU fans couldn't pay to get to the Rose Bowl, and then they earned that.
We're all a bunch of poor hicks out here.
Yeah, and then they owned that, and then he said it was because it was so easy to get into IU. So you can see the pattern develop. It is only because IU fans, much like they have with this football team, have responded at elite levels in excess. And that's the reason why he's saying what he says, because I would guarantee you anybody with even the smallest of brains would understand that there is no way that you can believe that. And I'll say this, Bob. I had a retort for Andrew Brandt, who is not a dumb guy whatsoever, but suggested that it's a great story and then gave you the but, and then his but resulted in like 8 months of Google research, the past 8 months. And I said, oh, wait a minute. You got to go decades to find the real fabric of why this story is of the highest level of significance, not just here, but anywhere. 8 months of Google research here, the past 8 months simply will not get it done. You got to go back decades. Go back to 1967 and then ask people what they think about it. That's when you find how truly amazing and why this story is so significantly high level.
to me, I can't understand why people are trying now to, but what they accomplished, they're trying to diminish the accomplishment. And, maybe I'm sounding like an alum, but for God's sake, I mean, they got money, but they don't have, they're middle of the pack, upper half of the pack in NIL. And they went out with, it's the same field for everybody. And, they got more money than they used to. They made a conscious effort, first under Fred Glass and then, of course, Scott Dolson, to put money into football. And, if you happen to find the right guy, a 64-year-old Yinzer, who says really bizarre stuff, then, God bless you. Now, if you're Vanderbilt or Kansas State, I mean, you got to think, if we do this thing right, we can be in the CFP next year.
The same thing. And what you do is you have a plan and a process that has worked. I mean, there's no doubt that you have financial stability and a want-to for this program now, but you also have somebody in there that understands exactly what is going on, and whatever they're doing right now in the selection process for the personnel, it works. And to get back to that initial point you made, like a guy like Paul Feinbaum, whom I've made fun of on this show, at the very least has owned being wrong. And that's how you know that these other dudes like Craig Carton won't do that. And the only reason why they're saying what they say is for the really simple and easy and the jackass effect. And that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's kind of where a lot of the modern media resides these days. And it's very sad. I mean, you could say all kinds of crazy crap from 3 to 6, and probably your numbers would blow up. But, at some point, you got to sleep with yourself.
And I got to live with people around here, too. That's why local radio is different from national. Because I got to live and see people, and they're going to make me earn ownership of what I say. And I think that's awesome. Whereas Craig Carton, his dumbass can just disappear behind a curtain and then come back out the next day for 3 hours. He doesn't have to face anything except social media where he can just mute it all. Nothing matters to him. There is no ownership whatsoever.
No, I saw the Feinbaum thing. I saw something that I've just been on social media because I'm still looking for stories and just soaking up what just happened. But what the hell was I saying there?
I don't know. We got off on a tangent there. This is something that is for me too, because I like you. I don't say anything I don't believe, and I am believe me, I am constantly wrong because I think we both know that I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, and I'm not going to be anytime soon. I understand my limitations, and that's kind of part of it. But I always love being local, and that's why I always want to be, because people out there, I go out like 2 and 3 days a week, are going to hold you accountable for it when you say it.
Same thing being a columnist at the Star and Channel 13 and then the Athletic, and now God knows what I'm doing. But yeah, I did national stuff for a while.
Yeah.
And you don't get that immediate, that instant gratification, knowing people read you and getting feedback. And that's something I really enjoyed through my years here. So how was Miami? Tell me something stupid you did.
Well, on the air?
If you want to text me, you can.
No, the best thing I did is
I wasn't there to take you down any bad roads.
Well, I went down plenty of bad roads. There's no doubt. But
Miami, it can happen, buddy.
I will tell you this: that the Jones family, DJ Jones, the father of Isaiah, the IU linebacker that scored a touchdown on that block punt, they took me out on a boat on Sunday, and then I went back to their house and hung out with them. And they were incredibly accommodating, and it was awesome. And to learn a little bit more about how that program and Kurt Signetti, how they deal with individual players and knowing that what means the most to their son who's coming back from one more year, Isaiah Jones, the linebacker, is his legacy. It's not about the money that they're making, not about anything else. It is about the legacy of being a part of this. That really hit home for me, and hearing that from the father made it pretty special.
I'll tell you what, the JMU 13 will be remembered forever.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the guys who made this whole thing go. I mean, there are a couple of Tom Allen holdovers.
And Isaiah is one of those, too. Isaiah Jones is a Tom Allen.
Yeah. So those guys should not be forgotten. But the JMU 13 is really the core of this team, Aiden Fisher and Elijah Surratt and the rest of these guys. I mean, what the job they have done, and, you know, we've all been saying it ad infinitum or ad nauseum. This is the greatest coaching job I've ever seen at any level. At any level. I mean, this program was the dregs. You know, I just remember so many Saturdays sitting in a sleet storm in Memorial Stadium watching them lose by 4 touchdowns to Rutgers, you know. And I think everybody has had that experience if you went to IU. And, yeah, my daughter just texted me. She said, I went to like 3 games. I just stayed out on 17th Street and partied all day.
Yep.
And, you know, and she's just jacked like we all are now.
Yeah, it is amazing. And there is no understating this. We're not utilizing, in our terms, hyperbole. This is the truth. This is how elite level this is right now, how all-time this is right now. It is really the simplest of facts that a lot of people, I think, are getting tired of, and that's why they're twisting it up and making it something else. But we're talking about it not because we live here, but because that's what it is.
Well, I've listened to a couple of national shows in the last 2 days, and, you know, I mean, they're talking about this constantly, and everybody's just trying to wrap their head around it. You know, is this a sign that college football has changed and changed forever? I think it does. I think now everybody feels like they have a chance if they're willing to spend the money and get the right guy in as your head coach.
Bob Kravitz, bobkravitz.com, right, is where they can find your stuff?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, buddy, it's great to have your perspective on here as well, and we'll continue to do that and get you back on and see where all this goes from here. But the reflection is pretty special. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. Take care.
So Bob Kravitz on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, bobkravitz.com. Quick break. Well, yeah, Craig Carton. Yeah, you know what we're dealing with here. You know what that's all about. Because I know he's been locked up and all that, and we make a joke of it, but nobody is that stupid. He's doing that for effect. That's all that's about, which makes him a jackass, which he already is. But the understanding somewhere inside that dome, that ample dome, somewhere is an understanding of what is real. That is just for the reaction and the effect. Quick break. We'll come back. 239-1070. You guys on the other side. Back with you next. Hey, John here for Big Red Liquors. They got you a big game ready coming up this weekend. Also powers the JMV Takeover on Saturday night. That is on B105.7. Ice cold beer and game ready selections for you. Budweiser, Bud Light, Miller Light, Coors Light, 16 ounce, 8 15-pack cans, $2 off. Bud Light, 16-ounce, 12 packs. You're going to save there, too. Founders Family, 15 packs. So much more you're going to find at Big Red Liquors to maintain that game day readiness for you. You're going to get that, too, at Big Red. 100-plus locations, state of Indiana, one near you. Did you know that the first one, 1972, started? College Avenue in Bloomington. That is Big Red Liquors. Make sure you are weekend worthy and know the Big Red Liquors powers the JMV Takeover every Saturday night on B105.7. To find that Big Red Liquors location nearest you, that's BigRedLiquors.com. Hey, John here. Weight loss journey. Let's start that thing. Premier Weight Loss. 2 Indy area locations, medically supervised weight loss injections. You do that, you do the work. They're going to follow exactly what you're doing on a monthly basis. You can lose that weight, get into shape, feel better, get healthy, whatever it may be to start 2026. Now is the time at PWLND.com. A great staff like Sam and Lauren and Thomas and all the gang there to help you get and reach the goals that you're looking for thanks to Premier Weight Loss. Actually, you can also ask about this too, which is incredible. The electronic toning machine that they have that you can utilize now at Premier Weight Loss. All that and more at PWLND.com. Start your weight loss path right now. 2026, you can have a new you at PWLND.com today.
The Ride with JMV.
I don't know what the hell's in there. It's weird and pissed off, whatever it is.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
There can be debate on whether Indiana had the best season in college football history, but there can be no debate. It is the greatest story in the history of the game. And what made it even more amazing is how people misunderstood what Kurt Cignetti was doing in Bloomington. But let me assure you, nobody was more incorrect in understanding that process than me. Almost everything I said throughout the season about him and about Indiana was wrong, and it was an epic failure on my part. There was no question Indiana was the best team, and yes, the Big Ten is the best conference in the country. We congratulate Coach Cignetti, Indiana, and the Big Ten for an extraordinary run.
That's Paul Feinbaum regarding IAU. All right, so that's not good right there. There is delay in the system here. So I'm going to take my headphones off. I'll tell you what, James, when that delay is out of here, let me know that I'm cool to put the headphones back on, because there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to deal with that. All right, so that's Paul Feinbaum from his show, and we have made fun of the fact that he was a non-believer in what IU has accomplished. And that's taking ownership of it. And when I was talking to Bob Kravitz a little bit earlier, and I'd mentioned one of the great things I like it being around here about is a simple fact is that you guys hold us all doing this accountable. I hear it all the time. I ran into a dude at the airport yesterday, and we were like talking about things. He goes, yeah, you and I got into it on social media about Miles Turner, which I think that was many of us. But, you know, at the end of the day, we're not going to, I'm a grudge holder, but not exactly like that. But at the end of the day, you know, we're all held accountable, and the ownership of being wrong about stuff is, it should be a rite of passage about what we do and what you do. And locally, it is, to me, especially with me being out so much, it is more of a deal and a big deal than it certainly is nationally, when you can say stuff and just simply disappear after you say stuff. And that is Paul Feinbaum with what James played back right there, owning it. And that's what he's done. Craig Carton, on the other hand, not so much. And that certainly is more about effect than it is anything else. Really nothing else. I would take some calls, but I don't think there's any way I'm going to be able to hear any calls right now with whatever the hell's going on in here with these mics and the delay, which is cool. Anyway, if you mentioned Bob Kravitz podcast, 1075thefan.com. Kevin Bowen a little bit earlier. Tomorrow's show, we're going to be loaded up. Babe Laufenberg, the former IU quarterback, does Cowboys radio network stuff. The former NFL quarterback's back on the show tomorrow. Steve Walsh, the former Hurricanes quarterback, the 87 national championship quarterback, is going to join us about the national championship game, too. And former Hoosier head coach and college basketball analyst Tom Crean is going to join us, because we do need to get to some other things, too. One, Purdue losing late last night on the road at UCLA. What was most disappointing about that, their first loss in the Big Ten season, but they had things going their way and in control. It wasn't the best of efforts, best of games by them, but again, on the road at Pauley Pavilion, had things in control in the final minute 50, and then with a couple of turnovers and some made threes, went haywire. They ultimately lose that game. And we'll talk about that with Tom Crean, IU, Michigan. That went about the same way we thought it was going to go, with IU on the road in Ann Arbor. Butler, however, a 7-point winner over DePaul. And that was the tale of two halves, if you want to look at it that way. First half, C.J. Gunn having an outstanding game. DePaul looking good. Second half, Butler took over. And that's the type of game, that's the type of performance you would like to see, and really what Thad Matta's team needs to put together here going through the remainder of the season, because they have some ground to make up for sure, especially within the Big East. So we'll talk about that and more. And certainly, as Tom Crean would understand, being a part of the fabric of IU as the basketball coach of the past and what the football program has accomplished in winning the national title, Tom Crean is going to join us coming up on tomorrow's show. Rally House coming up on Friday, 3 o'clock at Rally House at Clearwater Crossing. Rally House is your Hoosier National Championship gear location, with all those places across central Indiana and the landscape, the exclusive locker room collection too. Rally House, Clearwater Crossing, 3 o'clock coming up on Friday, 3 until 6 for us. Quick break, we'll come back. I think wrap things up a little bit earlier than usual. That's coming up next. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Hey, let's give you the best in realty. Mark Dietel Realty, 317-755-4232. That's markdietel.com, RDIETEL.com today. I mentioned this before, too. It was great because Mitch was actually listening to the show when he heard about Mark Dietel Realty. Home was a little bit too big, wanted to downsize, heard about Mark and what Mark can do for really anybody out there that's in the process of wanting to move, no matter their situation. And within 48 hours, multiple offers and closed for Mitch in Martinsville in 30 days. It's Mark Dietel, the only real estate expert I trust and recommend with the sale of my home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts you can cancel at any time. It's Mark Dietel Realty, 317-755-4232. It's markdietel.com, RDIETEL.com today. Hey, I mentioned this too on Friday.
The Ride with JMV.
Everybody freeze. Everybody down on the ground. Well, which is it, young feller? You want ice that freeze or get down on the ground? If I freeze, I can't rightly drop. And if I drop, I'm going to be in motion. You see?
Shut up!
Okay, then.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. Hey, how long is it till I get the hell up out of here? Is that soon? Tell me. I'll come back tomorrow and hopefully something's fixed. Hey, by the way, I didn't want to remind you on Friday, Rally House will be there coming up at 3 o'clock, 3 until 6 at Rally House. Clearwater Crossing, get your Hoosier National Championship gear at Rally House, plus their exclusive locker room collection. And, James, you'll have to point at me because there's no way I can listen through the headphones right now, too. The fandom for Hoosier fans at a peak. Central Indiana Rally House locations, including 5 at Indy, Bloomington, and Lafayette, too, have you covered on all that. We'll be at Rally House at Clearwater Crossing coming up on Friday, beginning at 3 o'clock. Rallyhouse.com to check out what they have to offer. That is on Friday. Now, tomorrow back in studio. Tomorrow I mentioned Babe Laufenberg is going to be on the show. Also, Tom Crane on the show tomorrow. And Mike Chappell, per usual. Tomorrow is a Thursday. I'm kind of lost in my days a little bit here. And Steve Walsh going to join us, former Hurricanes quarterback, coming up on tomorrow's show as well. I did want to mention just how awesome everything was this past weekend. And I wanted to give a shout-out because I met a lot of you because most of Central Indiana, as it felt like, was down in South Florida. And I got to hang out, and this is what makes this job the absolute best for me. And this is why this job is something that I could not even think about not doing because I got to hang out with so many cool people. I get to meet new people every day. And that experience, sharing that with you, and especially, I'm not an IU grad. I certainly grew up around it. But to see so many IU grads and certainly longtime IU football fans that have been through the incredibly bad stops with this program over decades. And to see everybody revel in that raw emotion, as I mentioned, the euphoria, the tears of joy. I mentioned this to Bob Kravitz a little bit earlier. That cannot be overstated. It was truly special. It was special to see that. And J-Law called in a little bit earlier. And it was kind of, I got to see that with J-Law as I was there, sitting right next to me. Just outstanding it was. And I want to not only thank Bullseye and Big Red Liquors for having us down there too, but I also wanted to thank all of you for just a great hang. If you know me right now, it's one thing that I absolutely love. It is a tremendous hang. And you guys certainly provided that. And thank you once again for just a fantastic weekend with all of you out there. Great time. Great times for real. Yeah, I should mention this. I talked to Kevin Bowen about this a little bit earlier. I know coming up this weekend you have NFC and AFC championship games. I don't know how invested you're going to be on it. Rams and Seahawks. That is the late game on Fox on Sunday, the NFC championship game. And then the Patriots and the Broncos. Yeah, the Patriots were up, winning multi-championships, back down, and then with Mike Vrabel and Drake May, the quarterback, back up again. Patriots and the Broncos without Bo Nix, as we know, moving forward. But again, you look at Vrabel and you look at Sean Payton, and you can view a lot of that by the whole head coaching prowess and how coaching is indeed necessary. And you see that certainly in the AFC. But that's coming up on Sunday. Now, again, I've just seen a couple of AccuWeather forecasts so far, and it looks like we're going to see some significant snow, at least by our terms, coming up this weekend. We'll follow that story as well. Hey, James, great job out of you today. I don't know what time. How much time do we have over there? I have no idea. 1 minute? Oh, James says 1 minute. All right. Hey, you guys, thank you very much for joining us again. Bob Kravitz, bobkravitz.com. A little bit earlier, Kevin Bowen of the Fan Morning Show. Fan Morning Show, 7 until 10 a.m. He and James Boyd and Jeff Rippert come at you coming up tomorrow morning. Jeff and James and Kevin begin at 7 a.m. And then back with you guys coming up tomorrow morning right here on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. Mentioned Pacer hoops coming up later on tonight. Pacers and the Celtics. And we'll follow that story and talk about that coming up tomorrow as well. Pacers basketball later on tonight. Us back in studio tomorrow with Babe Laufenberg. Studio tomorrow with Steve Walsh and Mike Chappell and Tom Crean. All coming up tomorrow. Rally House on the road coming up on Friday from 3 until 6. Clearwater Crossing location of Rally House. Cannot wait to see you there for that Hoosier Championship year. Thank everybody for joining us. Get back with you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.